In the beautiful, quiet hills of Santa Barbara, a respected healer built a wonderful life for his family, a life of peace, a life of compassion. But that peace was absolutely shattered when a charismatic conman, armed with a get-rich-quick scheme, turned their dream home into a truly horrific crime scene. This is the story of how a promising business deal became a premeditated, brutal betrayal. And let's just start with the prosecutor's final, damning words about the man at the center of this story. Because really, these 6 words, they perfectly capture the kind of calculated, layered deception that led to this unimaginable tragedy. You know, to really understand the gravity of what happened here, we first have to talk about the victims. We have to understand the beautiful world they created for themselves, this world of light that was so violently extinguished. So meet the Han family. Dr. Henry Han, he wasn't just a doctor. This was a man who survived China's Cultural Revolution, who fled political persecution to come here and build this renowned healing practice from nothing. His wife Jenny was just full of life, and their daughter, little Emily, she was a 5-year-old firecracker, just days away from her 6th birthday. They were truly beloved in their community. Their home, this beautiful Mediterranean-style house on Greenhill Way, it was more than just a house. It was their sanctuary. It stood for everything they built, a life founded on resilience, on hope, and on this incredible dream of a bright future, a future that was filled with plans to expand the clinic and explore all these new ventures. And this is where that world of light gets invaded by a calculating darkness. A man with a long history of schemes saw Dr. Han, and he didn't see a healer. He saw a mark. I mean, the contrast between these 2 men just couldn't be more stark. It's like night and day. On one side, you have Dr. Han, a man who overcame just incredible hardship to dedicate his entire life to healing other people. And on the other side, Pierre Hobish, a drifter who built his life on a foundation of lies and manipulation. Their paths were about to cross, and the results were going to be catastrophic. So, what was the bait? What was the big con? It was this elaborate, completely fake company Hobish created called Obsidian Tyranny. He pitched this incredible story about a shadowy Chinese tycoon, millions in US Treasury bonds. It was all designed to exploit Dr. Han's natural optimism and, of course, get access to his finances. And Dr. Han, ever the visionary, he signed a memo of understanding on March 21st. The ink on that business memo was barely even dry before the conman's promises started to unravel into this meticulously planned and just shockingly brutal crime. Okay, look at how fast this all happened. It's really hard to comprehend. In just over 24 hours, Hobish went from being a house guest and a so-called business partner to going out and buying murder supplies. And then within 48 hours of that signature, an entire family was dead. This timeline just screams premeditation. And, before a single shot was even fired, Hobish's own computer was telling the entire story. He used spyware to lift Dr. Han's banking information, and his search history, well, it read like a murderer's to-do list. But maybe the most chilling thing of all, he went on an online psychic chat and asked, "Will I get caught for what I did?" The crime scene itself was a testament to this cold, methodical cruelty. After being shot, the family was wrapped in the very same plastic sheeting Hobish had just bought. And the most heartbreaking detail revealed in court, 5-year-old Emily had suffered 8 gunshot wounds to her head. So as Hobish fled south, you can just imagine the panic setting in. And in his desperation, his own words over text and over the phone would become the single most damning piece of evidence against him. This text message right here, sent to his friend TJ Doretta, was the beginning of the end. He was on the run, he was convinced he was about to be caught, and this panicked admission kicked off a chain of events that would lead investigators straight to him. His friend TJ, absolutely horrified by what he was hearing, made a really difficult but absolutely crucial decision. He called the police, and he relayed the entire gruesome confession, how Hobish shot them for money, how he tried and failed to load the bodies into his car, everything. TJ's call basically handed the police an irrefutable roadmap right to the killer. So when the police finally cornered Hobish at a gas station just 2 days after the murders, his car was a rolling treasure trove of evidence. They found Dr. Han's property, sure, but they also found the very .22 caliber Ruger pistol that was used to kill the entire family. So now we're in the courtroom, and he's faced with this mountain of physical evidence. His digital footprints, his own confession, and what does Pierre Hobbs do? He decides to tell one final, truly unbelievable lie.
You're not gonna believe this. He takes a stand in his own defense and spins this fantasy tale that justifies all logic. He claimed he was a secret inventor being targeted by the Department of Energy and the Chinese mafia, describing these wild shootouts where bodies just disappeared and bullets literally bounced off his body armor. It was a desperate, completely fictional narrative. But his elaborate tale just crumbled under the slightest bit of scrutiny. The prosecution basically just asked, where's the proof? There were no police reports of these supposed shootouts, no news coverage, no witnesses, not a single shred of evidence to support his wild claims. It was all a lie. So on November 24th, 2021, the day before Thanksgiving, the verdict came down. Judge Brian Hill found Pierre Hobbs guilty on all 3 counts of first-degree murder, and he affirmed all the special circumstances, that the murders were premeditated, that they were committed for financial gain, and that they involved lying in wait. And the sentence was absolute. For these crimes, Hobbs received 3 consecutive life sentences, 1 for each life he stole, and absolutely no chance of ever being released. Judge Hill's final words to Pierre Hobbs were blunt, they were unequivocal. No room for ambiguity. It was just a stark, definitive end to a case built on a foundation of deadly, deadly deception. The story of the Han family is just a harrowing reminder of the darkness that can hide behind a charismatic smile and a grand promise. It really forces us to confront the devastating aftermath of a lie, and it leaves us with this lingering, difficult question about the nature of trust and the very long road to healing.